Proud of the guys, kept fighting throughout the entire game, put up a 2-spot in the ninth when we were trailing by a significant margin. Had 11 hits, really competed well against a high-end pitcher in Cade Anderson, one of the best in the country. I think he's one of the top strikeout guys in the nation, and I thought our offense did a really nice job. Played competitive baseball. Game slipped away from us a little bit out of the bullpen. Asked a lot of guys to compete at a high level. Quite a few kids that hadn't been in a scenario like that before, and we had some great things happen. We had some struggles throughout the game, but I certainly know that we kept fighting, so proud of the guys.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. If you raise your hand, we have 2 microphones, and again, questions first for Sam, please.
Perry White on the Yard Network. This question is for Sam. You had a pretty good day at the plate. What did you see from LSU on the mound that you saw that you were able to take advantage of?
I knew that kind of his go-to pitch was going to be that slider or his curveball. I knew he had a really good heater, but for the most part, lefty-lefty, they're going to try and go with something away from you. So I just came into the game knowing that if he left a breaking ball up, I was going to go be aggressive to it, and it ended up working out.
Back in the back.
Kevin Kinder with the Blue and Gold News. Sam, this team's aggressive, obviously, at the plate, but you're trying to elevate a pitch count, try to get their starting pitcher out of the game. How do you kind of balance those two things? Obviously, that worked for you, but is that difficult to do?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a really good pitcher. He throws something out of his hand that looks like a ball and it ends up a strike, and he throws a strike out of his hand that ends up a ball. So you just kind of trust your training, try and play naturally. Working a pitch count is one thing, but if he gives you something to hit, you're not trying to foul it off. You're trying to hit it. So swing at strikes, take the balls.
Greg Carey, West Virginia Metro News. Sam, right here in the middle, sorry. This team, win or lose throughout the season, has been very good at just putting things behind them. How do you go about doing that, knowing that another opportunity awaits tomorrow and your season's on the line?
Yeah, they could have beat us 40-0, and tomorrow it's going to be 0-0 at first pitch. So nothing to it. It's a series. Like Steve said in the postgame, we don't have to crawl back like it's a regional and win 4 more. We just go out and compete tomorrow, try and win 1 game.
Sam in the back, just how hot was it out there? And you had some long innings, obviously, with a lot of runs scored by both sides. I guess how much did that play into the day that it was?
Yeah, it was really hot. We came into it knowing it was going to be hot. But, I mean, you just try and hydrate as much as you possibly can. Luckily, I'm a DH, so I'm not out there very much for those long innings. But, yeah, I mean, I cramped going around first base, and I'm not even playing defense. So it's really tough, but we have a strength coach that just pounds electrolytes for us. So, you just try and trust them and drink as much as you can.
Alex Sheasley, KLSU Radio. This team's so good on the road. What was the environment like at the box, and how does that compare to other road environments that you faced this year?
Yeah, I think it was probably the loudest stadium we played in, but it's really, really cool. I think, like I said a few days ago, like our core guys, I guess 7 out of 9 in our lineup. We played in a Super Regional last year against UNC. So, we're kind of ready for that stuff. Clemson, we won a game at Clemson last weekend that kind of showed us, we can win in a really tough environment. So this was the loudest it's been for sure, but I think that we kind of feed into that. Everybody loves to make a stadium go silent, so.
Any other questions for Sam? We're good? Sam, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Sammy.
I'll wait just a second. We'll let Sam get off and get his stuff. Thank you very much. You bet. All right, we'll open up the floor now for questions for Coach Sabins, please.
It's right here. You mentioned in your opening statement going to some pitchers that you hadn't used as much this year. Can you kind of walk through those decisions once you looked at your starter and why you went to those guys?
Kern's been so good for us all year. He's our workhorse, so if I didn't think Kern was quite as sharp, and it probably had something to do with the fact that he threw twice in a week for the first time all season last weekend. So he started game 1 of the regional and closed out the regional, and then obviously the conditions today being so hot, so humid, a little bit shorter rest for him. He wasn't quite as crisp. Less about the results. He gave up a couple runs, but it was more about the crispness of the pitches. We felt as a staff that we'd be better off going to somebody else. We'd had some players throughout the season make these big jumps, and so there's always some risk associated with it, but it's kind of like Armani Guzman starting last week really paid off, and Ben Lumsden, those guys hadn't been in the lineup as much. We felt like some of these pitchers had been really, really great throughout some smaller outings, some shorter outings, some sim games. We think that they're ready to compete at the highest level, and they certainly are. It didn't go their way this week. But when you trail in the game, there's always some balance of making sure that you go to win the game, but also that you have enough arms to compete and win a series. So there's always that balance.
Coach in the back on the podium back there.
Following up on that, Steve, if the score's different, if it's a little closer, does that lead to different choices, Bassinger, maybe Meyer, guys like that? Or, so how much was it game situation versus some of the other things you saw?
I think every game situation is going to dictate who you decide to go to. So there's too many variables to decide, but certainly score is one of them. But who's hitting, what the score is, the situation, how far along in the game you are, all of that plays into those decisions.
Greg Carey, West Virginia Metro News. Here in the middle, Steve.
Right in the middle.
Did you feel like Griffin was out of gas?
Yes, I felt like Griffin was out of gas. His velocity was lower than it had been in weeks. His crispness was lower than it had been in weeks. His command was less than it had been in weeks. And so we have a really good team. It takes our depth, and it takes everybody if we're going to win at the highest levels. And so we didn't think that he was the best option there.
Coach over here to your left in the front.
Coach, with Kate Anderson today, 9 hits, 6 earned runs. That's the most anyone's put on him this season. What sort of allowed you guys to really open things up in the later innings with him on the mound?
I think we have a talented offense, and we don't strike out very often, and that's what Kate Anderson has success doing. So he strikes people out, and we don't strike out very often. And so I think the length of the at-bats allowed us to score runs. It's hard out there as a pitcher because of the heat. So I think in general, if somebody can go 115 pitches traditionally and be really, really successful that way, today it's probably less. There's some percentage where guys are going to struggle, and I felt like our hitters stayed very focused, won a lot of pitches early. Even from the very first at-bat of the game, I think Guzman had a 8 to 10 pitch at-bat, and I think that set the tone right off the bat that it's going to be difficult to strike us out, and you're going to have to earn everything that you get. And just over the course of the time, I think our offense wore him down. But, again, he's incredible. He went 7 innings and gave up 6 earned in his worst outing, as you said, of the year. So he did a great job and kept them in the game and allowed for their bullpen to only use so many arms today.
Right there in the middle, Coach. Right there.
Jake McKeever, College Baseball Central. Coach, what did you think of Griffin's start today?
Griffin's start, competitive, selfless, wanting to win, doing everything for his team. That's what he gives us every time he gets on the mound.
Coach.
Right back here, Coach.
Coach Alex Sheasley, KLSU Sports. How did you guys prepare for the heat today? Was there any difference, maybe coming into Baton Rouge throughout the week, that you and the team did to get ready for this environment?
Yeah, we talked about it all week, about hydrating. We had electrolyte drinks that were provided to our players before and after practices, at room checks. We made it a major focus.
In the middle.
Greg Carey, West Virginia Metro News. Steve, any pitching plans tomorrow that you're willing to reveal?
Not yet. We got to get together after today's game just because each game the situation changes. So we'll get together as a staff and make some decisions.
Got two more, Coach, right over here on the left and then back in the back over here. Go ahead.
Alan Cole, Dominion Post. Is there anything you can take offensively from what you did today, or is it kind of like your player just said, it's new start, fresh game at 0-0 tomorrow?
I think there's a lot you can take from every game. Whether it's good or bad, you win or lose, there's something that you can take from it. I think if, in our perspective, stepping foot against a very competitive team with a great pitcher and having success, if anything, confidence heavily is built on, offense is built on confidence. And so I think our offense should have confidence going into tomorrow.
Last question, Coach, in the back.
Hey, Coach, leading into tomorrow, potentially, season on the line, what's your message to the guys?
Just, this is what we've done all season. This is a series. I told them that if you lose game 1 of a regional, you got to win 4 games, and you're in a loser's bracket. It's a very different scenario. So this is more traditional baseball. This is what we've been doing all year. You got to go win a series. So if you can get to a game 3, everything changes. And so it's all about winning tomorrow, playing for the season, playing for your teammates, and then you get to game 3, and that's when things can get really fun.
Coach, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.